now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am on day 3 of my 31 days of horror movie reviews. And of course, I'm still doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, almost a marathon at this point. I am on Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. This is a 1990 film. And the plot. The plot of this movie is we meet Michelle and Ryan. They're a couple driving across town in Texas. They have almost one last vacation that they want to go on together because Michelle is going to go away and you don't really know the future of their relationship. So it's like, hey, let's spend as much time as we can together until they run into various people in this town, in this neighborhood. One including Tex, and another including Leatherface. Leatherface, yes, is here to cause some havoc, to fuck some shit up, so they have to try to survive this. Now, what I thought of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 was, I like this movie. I do. Now, maybe my voice just went up higher and registered just a little bit because I don't love the movie. I'm not like, holy fuck, this movie was awesome. I'm not. But coming off of that second movie, and as bad as I think it is, coming into a more straightforward, like, this is how we're just going to present this story. Nothing too crazy here, at least as far as it's not a black comedy like the second one was. In fact, the opening scrolls, it's almost like they don't even mention that second movie. They disregard it. It's like it didn't happen. And they mentioned the first movie, though. I don't know exactly how many years it's been since that first movie, but you see that as far as the villains go, as far as the Sawyer family goes, Leatherface is the focal point. He's the title of the movie, and I like that. I like that it's almost like the people who took over this franchise from Tobe Hooper, they said, fuck, we have to rehab Leatherface. We have to do something to make him scary again, to make him a force to be reckoned with, to make him somebody that when you see, he's creepy. And I think they're successful here. I like his look. I like just his whole demeanor. He looks tougher and scarier. He is played by R.A. Mihailoff, who for the most part plays him, but I was almost floored to read that Kane Hodder does the stunts for Leatherface. Now, I almost don't know why you just don't cast Kane Hodder himself as Leatherface, because how fucking awesome would that be? He was Jason the most times out of anybody, so he would know how to play Leatherface. But just knowing that he did the stunts, that's good enough, if you ask me. And there's something creepy about this Leatherface because he still has those childlike tendencies of, like, when he finds toys, as he calls them, like a Walkman or just various, like, toys that he likes to play with. He still has that child brain, but it's almost like, at least they allude to the fact that he might be producing the next generation of this family, producing the kids. Like, there's this little girl in this family who's so fucking evil, such a fucking bitch, this little girl, because you can tell she's just going to grow up to be bad news. They have who I believe is their mom, I mean, they didn't really quite get into who she is. I should mention Viggo Mortensen. Yes, Viggo Mortensen is in this movie as Tex, aka Eddie Sawyer. He's like the younger brother, I think, of Leatherface. They're somehow related. Who fucking knows? Like, brother slash cousin slash uncle. Who the fuck knows? But Viggo Mortensen is pretty good here because at first when you see him, he seems like a nice guy, a friendly guy, like a cowboy who just wants to help this couple out as far as fighting an easier road. Now, lesson learned. I don't care how nice somebody can come off. I don't care how good looking somebody might come off. How charming he might be. Don't listen to him when he tells you to go on a road that's not on your map, that's supposedly quicker because he just wants to fucking help you out. Bullshit. It's always bullshit. And if I didn't watch enough movies, that would probably be me too, where I would fall for some shit like this. Give this family credit, though. They create a scenario, this whole fucking thing, where to make him look even more trustful than he was. So it kind of makes sense why they listen to him. This couple, Michelle and Ryan. Michelle is played by Kate Hodge. This is like her first starring role. And Ryan's played by William Butler, who I remember seeing in a small part for Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. So it's kind of cool to see him in another horror movie. They're a couple who a little shaky because he's not happy that she's going to essentially leave him, maybe sort of. And so there's a little tension there. And I admit, maybe he comes off a little bit as a dick at the beginning, but when Viggo Mortensen is hitting on his girlfriend and she's kind of charmed by it, she's kind of like smirking and like she likes the attention that he's giving her, that's when I felt bad for Ryan. I'm like, fuck! Because how do you compete with that guy? When the shit hits the fan, when everything goes haywire, that's when the movie really doesn't slow down. Just a bunch of shit happening, like them getting stranded on the road, their car fucks up, they almost hit and run into Ken Foyer, who plays Benny. And Ken Foyer, he's a great actor. I love seeing him, especially in the horror movies. And he just comes off as like the nicest guy, although at first you're weary on him. That's what the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies do so well, because when you are just going through Texas and you don't know anybody, you don't trust anybody, and that's what this movie does pretty well, is that you don't really know if you can trust that person or this person. I say you don't trust him at first because when they get into a car accident, he's just like, hey, take these fucking pills and drink it down with water. And you're like, what the fuck? And they don't even ask him what it is until after the fact when they start to feel sleepy. Then they're like, hey, what did you give us? Ask that before you fucking down it. Luckily, it was just painkillers, so it made them sleepy. He wasn't a part of the family, thank God. But I like Benny here because he was the hero, essentially. And he was a badass. He even has moments when he starts taking out members of the family one by one. And he's like, one down. It's just, he's cool. Another random character named Sarah. Sarah is this girl who, she looks all dirty, and she's kind of running from Leatherface, and she's watching almost everything going on in this film, and she kind of tries to help the group to get Leatherface's attention, to get him away from them. And then you eventually find out her backstory is that her and her sister and some friends were out here, and they were attacked by this family. Everybody else is dead besides her, and she's been like out in the woods for the last week or so. Now, sure, maybe it doesn't really sound believable that like she wouldn't be able to find her way out of the woods after a week, but I like the idea. I liked the idea of this character, this girl, who this had happened to before the movie even started, and she's somebody who's trying to survive, and she gets thrown into this, and she kind of knows about the family's secrets and what they've been doing. But she's also being driven a little mad and crazy because she's been out here eating animals and eating whatever the fuck she can to survive. So I was interested by this character, and then they just killed her off like nothing. They killed her off like she was just some dumb character who they didn't just set up to be a potential badass or just somebody. Very wasted. I was upset with that. As far as the kills go, as far as the death scenes, this movie is heavily edited. Heavily edited because I guess originally the MPAA gave this an X. Yes, an X rating. So they were like, fuck, we have to trim back a lot of the violent scenes, a lot of the gory scenes to make it rated R. And when you see it, you're like, you almost don't see hardly anybody die. I mean, every time Leatherface goes to chainsaw somebody, it's like it cuts away. It shows somebody else's reaction, either running away or something, and you just hear them dying. You see some blood here and there, but it seemed very too edited. Maybe it was the times. I guess 1990, the MPAA was stuck up their ass. But that does suck. It does take you out of it because you do kind of want to see a little bit more. This ending is so like, what the fuck? Because as much as I might have been into the movie, there's a moment when Ken Foray has like a fight with Leatherface, and it's good because these are two big dudes. You can buy them going head to head and fighting and it being a struggle. And then it seems as clear as day that Leatherface kills Ken Foray. Like, they have a struggle, and the chainsaw is on. And, of course, we don't see it because of the editing, but you see Leatherface lower his head into the chainsaw. We cut to Michelle's reaction of her freaking out, and you audibly hear Ken Foray getting his head chainsawed, like, dead. Then all this stuff happens, she escapes, and the end of the movie, Ken Foray just drives up next to her and says, "Hey, I survived!" And she's like, "You survived!" And they hug each other, and this happy music's playing, and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Look, I didn't want him to die. I was happy to see him alive. It's almost as if originally he was supposed to die, and then maybe at the last second they changed it to make him live. It's just the transition is so awkward. It's so weird. It so doesn't make sense. I mean, come on, guys. Reshoot that fight scene if you have to, or just do something like show that he at least got some of his head cut. There's no cut on his head when you see him after that. But, like I said, I did enjoy this film. I did not hate it. I didn't even dislike it. Again, I liked it. It was darker. It was back to the basics of being straight horror, and I appreciated all of that. But clearly not great, not perfect either. It's just, it is what it is. It's better than 2. I will say it's better than 2. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later! Please won't you save my desires on fire. Sometimes you need a little peace at home. I'm tired, so wired. Come follow me and I can you. Come follow me and take a trip to the dark side.